You're standing in a circle of about 30 people. There's a fire in the middle. Someone just made a decision that affected everyone. And nobody voted, nobody was appointed, nobody inherited the role, but everyone in that circle already knew who to listen to. They knew it the way you know which direction is down, without thinking about it, without being told. This is how human leadership worked for 95% of our existence. And the criteria those ancient humans used to decide who to listen to are so different from what we practice today that most political scientists didn't believe the anthropological data when it first came back. The strongest person was almost never the leader. The loudest person was almost never the leader. In many groups, the most dominant individual was actively managed down by the rest of the group on purpose. What ancient humans actually selected for in a leader is stranger than you'd expect, and more relevant than you'd think. In 1965, anthropologist Richard Lee went to live with the Juhoansi people of the Kalahari Desert, one of the last remaining groups still living in a way that closely resembles pre-agricultural human social structure. He asked them directly who their leader was. Every person gave him the same answer: "We have no leader." He assumed something was lost in translation. He pushed further. What he got back changed how anthropologists understood human social organization for the next 50 years. The Juhoansi didn't have a chief. They didn't have a headman with formal authority. What they had were certain individuals who were listened to more than others. Not obeyed, not followed out of fear, simply listened to. When those individuals spoke, people paid attention. When they didn't speak, nobody demanded that they did. The authority was entirely informal, entirely voluntary, and entirely dependent on something that had to be continuously earned. Anthropologists eventually named that something prestige, and prestige, it turned out, was the original currency of human leadership. Christopher Boehm, an anthropologist at the University of Southern California, spent decades compiling data from hunter-gatherer societies across every inhabited continent. What he found was consistent enough to be uncomfortable. In virtually every group studied, strong top-down hierarchies were actively resisted. Boehm called it a reverse dominance hierarchy. The many managed the few. The moment any individual began accumulating too much power, the group pushed back. Through mockery first, then gossip, then social exclusion, then collective action, and in extreme cases, through violence. Not impulsive anger, deliberate, coordinated, group-sanctioned removal of the individual who had made themselves a threat to everyone else. This is not ancient brutality. This is ancient democracy. For roughly 95% of human evolutionary history, our species actively suppressed dominance-based leadership. The physically dominant, loudly self-promoting, aggressively status-seeking individual was, in the original human social environment, precisely the kind of person the group was most motivated to manage down. So what got managed up? Joseph Enrich at Harvard spent years studying what generated prestige across cultures. What he found was that prestige clustered reliably around a specific set of traits: not size, not aggression, not confidence in the modern performative sense. What generated prestige was demonstrated competence, generosity, the ability to resolve conflict without escalating it, and a kind of social awareness that is harder to name but consistently documented. The ability to read a group and respond to what it actually needed rather than what the individual wanted. This is my first video, guys. If you enjoyed it, leave a comment and let me know. Your support will motivate me to make longer videos and start uploading consistently on this channel.